Hit me.
226.
With clever meme, with funny tweet, I'll never leave my office seat. Those who think they know what's right, listen on Sundays to NetHeads, all right?
You've got to throw some cold water on this situation. Start talking about nerd stuff.
You know, nerd culture is mainstream now. So when you use the word nerd derogatorily, it means you're the one that's out of the zeitgeist.
System activate.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. It's a tech podcast. But we are a ton cooler than your typical geek, giving you the info you need to achieve mega nerd status. NetHeads.
You guys rock.
And now, here's Will and Trent.
Yeah, there we go. Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition. And what is this show? It's NetHeads.
NetHeads.
I literally almost said Radio Askew.
NetHeads. We're back again.
Giving you the head that your net needs.
Never. NetHeads.
I really, I think now more so than ever, whenever I'm driving around, deeply regret getting a vanity plate. Especially that says Nethead.
Yeah, because do you think people are like, oh, he was so fucked up, he forgot the M and put an N instead?
Yeah, they either think I'm an idiot, which, you know, you see my driving probably
like is he a meth head?
No, I do. Or, you know, they just look at it and go, okay, well, if I know I want to get some head from the net, I find that car.
This is the car. This is the car to go to.
For manly love, meet me at 2:15 a.m.
I'll be there, man.
I'm glad to hear that. Everybody, welcome. My name is Will.
I'm Trent.
And you are not listening to Radio Askew. You're listening to NetHeads here on the Smodco.
That's a deep cut, man.
By the way, I was thinking about something. Because, you know, I mean, let's face it. You guys may hear it, but the lack of a what I would call a navigational link on smodcast.com let you kind of know that I guess the best way to put it is Smodco Internet Radio is kind of living in a legacy format.
Yeah. I like that.
And because of that,
in the know, you can still get it.
Yeah, because of that, you know, it's we've always done this show pretty much in a live format.
Yes.
Because I come from live radio. I prefer live radio. You're in the moment. And there's a certain something about not performing with a net. You know, it's more exciting when you see acrobats not have a net, and you know that. And by the way, I got to tell you something too, Trent. One of the things that I took notice of, Phil. Oh, why can I never remember his last name? But no, it's a YouTube guy. No, it's Phil DeFranco, I think is his name.
Okay.
He is one of those people. He first came up as a YouTuber per se, and you know, he's still doing the online thing and making money. God bless him. Recently, he received notice from YouTube that his channel would not be monetizable anymore under new terms, and part of those terms are because of language or other things of a more mature. Exactly. So I'm wondering, even though I say, you know, we like to do it without a net, I'm just wondering if we should, at least during the show, refrain from certain.
Dude, I say you do it until you're notified, right?
Well, yeah, but at that point, well, I mean, not. By the way, I'd like to make another point too. We're not making any money off the YouTube stuff.
No.
So the fact of it being monetizable or not means nothing right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was not really the main point, but I saw that come up and I'm thinking
that's fucked up, dude, because like the internet, I'm telling you, man, it's a wild, wild west. Like, you know, it's not government controlled, and you shouldn't have to, you know, it's bullshit, man. That's why you can have like a mature thing on your stuff.
Well, and that's the reason why I kind of think it's amazing, if you will, the broadcasting power that the internet now gives people, because you have it, like case in point, guys, if you want to be a filmmaker, if you want to be a TV show actor, or you want to make TV shows or anything else, the only thing in this era now that we live in that limits you is you.
Yep.
I mean, case in point, when Trent was building Death Ray Comics, there was this really neat feature that he did, and in many ways, it was almost like seeing a little documentary come together.
Oh yeah.
As you were ramping up, and there were like little things, there were the improv items that happened, and you building out, and it was it was like watching a documentary. And what did you shoot all that on, Trent?
Just a T3i, just a Rebel EOS camera, super simple, basic DSLR.
If you hadn't had the DSLR, you probably could have used your Android, right?
Yep, absolutely. Use my phone.
So really, and I'm sure there are many out there right now. I'm sure there are many films that have been made like where the entire film was shot on a mobile phone.
Oh yeah, for
you
sure.
know what I mean? And during his, go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying there was an action film that came out that was shot entirely in the first person shooter, and it was all used. Yeah, exactly. And it was all used. They used a GoPro for every shot. And there's like not a great film, but there are some shots in there that are fucking mind blowing, and it was all just with a GoPro.
Yeah, and it's not, and I'm sure there was also probably a movie as well of a similar nature, probably shot on nothing but a Google Glass, because it is a really perspective kind of thing.
Yeah.
So my case in point is anyone can be a creator, and I mean, we really truly live in an era where broadcast has been democratized. And I'm not really in depth on the adjustment to the terms of use that YouTube did. Yeah. But it's interesting when you can make something that is has become a method for people to make money, monetize, and make a living, and then add a bit of terminology to your usage policies that can instantly then make it so you don't have to pay people.
Yeah, and that's what it turns into, right? A way that they don't have to, fund the content that you're generating.
And it's exactly the wrong type of concept to have, because
for sure.
I think the best way to put it, as I've heard it, and it's one of the things I try and remember the most in life now, and everything I do, a rising tide raises all ships.
Exactly, dude. It's so true.
If you're having a problem, let's say, for example, and I'm not saying that this is the case, I'm just saying this is the way it comes off. Yeah. So if you're having a problem or worried about funding these people because of ad revenue and everything else, just do what you have to do to adjust to make sure you've got your assets covered so you can cover theirs.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And that's what's so cool about like what Twitch does, where they've got you can subscribe for $5, or you can just throw $1 at them whenever you want. And then the Patreon stuff is really rad too, where you can get set up on a subscription, and then whenever something new comes out through your Patreon account, you just get it. It comes to you automatically.
And there are people building the tools that we need for that.
Totally.
Case in point, I was in a meeting the other day with a company that what they do, one of the things they do, very oversimplified thing, is they do ad insertion technology for podcasts, which in my realm is astounding, because let's say, for example, the episode of Smodcast that went out on Friday. There are several things that happened. First of all, that was a unique thing. It was audio we got from Sirius. So I had to prepare it as a Smodcast. That means it's got to have the intro, the outro. Kevin's going to say something. So we've got music, Kevin. And then they had commercial breaks, which meant from an ad insertion standpoint, I was in heaven, because I then produced the audio for the commercials, and then those get placed into the file. Now, here's the problem, Trent. Unless you want to replace that audio file, now those commercials are just stuck there. Yep. Right. So dynamic ad insertion is even better, because right now, if you went back and listened to the old episodes of Smodcast, you would hear the commercials from Fleshlight, one of the first podcasting advertisers out there. But those ads are what we would call stale now.
Yes. Yeah.
Now with dynamic insertion, you could mark where the commercials are or get rid of them, and then from that point on, push of a button, let's say somebody says, you know what, I want to sponsor all of Smodcast.
Yep.
And I want to do it for the rest of the year.
Yep.
This technology will let you do that, and you don't have to go and recut.
Dude, you and I have talked about this in the past, like how like genius and how like marketable a model like this would be worth. I mean, in one way, it's a great marketing point for selling advertising with the static stuff, because you can say, look, the stuff is going to be around forever. You know what I mean? You're only paying for this, but it'll be on forever. But at the same time, that works against you, because then you're competing with all the new advertisers. So it's dude, I'm pissed that I didn't know how to write the code to do that.
Well, if it'll make you feel any better, in talking with several of companies, it's taken some people millions of their own dollars.
Jesus.
So yeah, there's a reason why I can't come up with an ad insertion company. And they can't. But that's not the part that was cool. Now imagine we live in this Patreon world
right.
you're discussing. And what we could say is, okay, guys, so here's the way NetHeads will work from now on. You'll never hear a commercial read on NetHeads again. No, let's hold on, scratch that. But we could say this. We could say, here's what we could do. Here's how it will work. If you'd like to subscribe to the podcast or support us through Patreon,
right?
Our Patreon subscribers will get the show. And then 2 weeks later, there'll be the paid advertising version.
Yeah.
And this company has it to where you can make it to where your content is exclusive to certain places before it goes out to your podcast feed.
Sure. So almost like like when you're listening to Pandora and there's, I get ads for colleges around my area.
Yeah.
It's geographic specific.
Oh yeah, baby.
Nice.
You could program it any way you want, but even the Patreon aspect, I don't know how we got on this topic. By the way, I'd like to point out 2 things that have come up on Twitter. By the way, we are a live program half the time.
Yes.
Meaning with the number of listeners we have and the number of live listeners, it really is a 50-50 split. It's like, no, I'm kidding. But you can communicate with us live if you want. One of those ways is via the telephone. Quickest and easiest, it's actually Skype. You can do NetHeads on air. It's all one word. Or if you want to call 866-610-9455, you can do that. Or 925-238-9020. Or how else is that spelled, Trent?
YakBet21.
YakBet9020, but nice.
Damn it, I was way off, and that wasn't even the right numbers.
And you're one of the co-hosts. That's what I love about this. We have no standard to it. Another way, though, is via Twitter, and that's the way I want to talk about some messages that I just saw. But it is not my place to tell people.
Just saying, use the hashtag NetHeads, not unlike our good friend Dougie Fresh, Lee Velasquez, Ryan Connolly, of course, always there making with the chats. So yeah.
By the way, happy belated birthday, because this is after the fact, to Dougie Fresh himself, Doug Fresh.
Oh.
Fresh 20 _ Fresh 23 _ on Twitter. But what I wanted to say, if you did look at the hashtag NetHeads right now, he just dropped the dopest animated GIF that I got to figure out a way to use. If you can see that, because it's got an animated live, and the NetHeads.
Oh yes.
Everywhere that's green transitions to blue, and blue transitions to green.
Yes.
It's got the blinking live. As a matter of fact, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to not only steal this image, I'm going to waste the time and expenses of mounting a screen, an LED screen or LCD screen above my door for the studio. So that way, when we are live on air, this will be on the screen, and anyone can see that.
I think it's brilliant.
Well, why spend money? Like my wife just said the other day about something, and I'm like, well, I do have some monitors laying around because I have monitors laying around.
Yeah, because who doesn't have a couple just laying around? Are they HD, or we just own like old school VGAs?
Oh no. Well, actually, there's an old school VGA that I'm looking at, but then there's also it's a small HD. It's actually like a TV. But that one would go good outside above the door, because I was looking at it earlier today. You look at the stupidest things when you're a podcaster, and I was looking at how to make your do-it-yourself live on air.
Oh, dude, I've done the same thing. I shit you not, I've done the exact same thing.
Yeah, but now that I realize it, I'm like, okay, well, I could do it this way cheap. I could do it that way cheap. But given that I've got, like, I'm ashamed to admit, there's even right over there. I'm looking at it. It's what they call a net top computer. So it's very compact. All I need for a digital sign is one of those. So I could put that over the door, outside the door. And if we're live on the air, I could do that. If I'm on a conference call, I could do custom messages.
Yeah.
For all the people walking down the hallway in my house.
I was just going to say down the office hallway.
It makes sense if you're in an office.
I think when I made one for Death Ray, I basically just did like a stencil of on air, and then put like a red celluloid over top of it, and then just put a light behind it in like a frame.
Yeah, you did what you should do, which is all the stuff that you have around the house.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly.
You should never, and folks, I'm going to tell you this right now, unless it's your absolute passion, honestly, anything you're doing to get started in podcasting, do everything you can with everything that you already have.
Yes. Don't waste money if you don't have to.
Yeah, if you'd like, I can go ahead and send you a one sheet on all the money I shouldn't have spent around here.
No, don't.
It'll be depressing. Okay, so my original point. First of all, I want to say that animation is great. I'm going to steal it, and yes, I am going to mount a screen and piss my wife off. But apparently, that's the theme. Lee Velasquez too. I was right too. I was going to say Z Digital 13. It recently was his birthday as well. So happy belated birthday to him.
Got a bunch of Virgos on the line.
And I believe that was actually reminded to us by his wife, Crystal. So that was nice of her chiming in. Lee is also Z Digital 13 is telling Dougie Fresh. I always call him that. I shouldn't.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I do too.
Said make the lights on their heads blink, which makes sense because we do. We have little.
Yeah.
The other interesting tweet that I like though is our good friend Ryan Connolly, who, by the way, he is a big fan, and this kind of. I've watched Phil DeFranco's stuff. I like it. Early on when it was just him on YouTube, and we're talking about years ago when I first heard about him. Like everyone else, I was jealous and resentful.
Like we still are.
You know, you want to think you're above stuff, but
yeah, we're not even close.
Look, guys, I've got a show on Kevin Smith's network. I get to do relief work for Kevin Smith's company. Yeah. Yet when I see Talk Salad and Scrambled Eggs with Kevin Smith and Matt Myra, I'm like, I could talk fucking Frasier. You know,
I piece of shit didn't invent the Matrix.
Yeah, exactly. And look at you, dude. You've got the glasses. You could be Myra. Could have been you. And actually, months before that podcast debuted, you just talked about how you rewatched all of Frasier.
I did. I
Yeah,
consumed it.
You were probably just like me. You're just sitting there going, I could have done that too.
Just like a piece of shit.
I could talk to Kevin.
Yeah, but it would probably just end up me being like, remember that one time in Frasier?
That was cool.
Niles. He's crazy, man.
You remember when Eddie the dog was just sitting there like he was listening to the album like the RCA dog?
Yeah. That was awesome.
No, that's not. My whole point, I used to watch Phil's stuff, and I still do. I watch some of his stuff currently, but back in the day I was resentful because, of course, jealousy is a bad thing. You can be envious all you want, folks, but look up the definition of jealousy and you'll understand. But once I got beyond that and I got to appreciate what it is, because in the long run, what happens when you enter this nutty world that we have of digital broadcasting, you eventually, it's all you want to do. You look at your professional life.
It's so true, dude.
And you're like, why can't my professional life be this? Because I enjoy it. It's the old saying. Do what you love. You never work a day in your life. And
Yep.
Look, I'll be candid. It is not all roses and candy in a broadcaster's world. Like,
right.
Literally, I was having an argument with my wife before we started the show. And why am I bringing that up? I had a reason for bringing that up. Oh, I was just saying it's an everyday life thing. But sitting down here, obviously, this is something I love to do because I'm coming in here and I'm doing at it what you consider probably the worst point to do it when you are in a relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Essentially, it was the fight. I just grabbed my keys and said, I'm going to the bar. That's what I did.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go in my room and talk to my friend.
My friend that you met once.
So what I'm saying about this with Philly D, first of all, Ryan is a fan, and he even says second Phil DeFranco reference on the show, we would we should do an interview, I would love to. I'd love to talk to him.
Oh, that would be rad.
Because it would be interesting, I think, to find one of these people that was would have been an early popular YouTuber who is still going. Kind of in the same way it would be interesting to talk to Harley Plays or I don't know, maybe even the Shay Tartan.
Yeah, the Shays.
I don't know if I can go that far, but you know,
and plus I've got regional beef with those guys.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a Crips and a Bloods thing we don't want to get into. But the reason I bring that up is because, I mean, look, Ryan's a fan of Phil DeFranco, who's been going for years, and he's a fan of us. So, I mean, that kind of puts us in good company, right?
Yeah, it means that he's got great taste. Thanks,
I hope
Ryan.
so. Yeah, there you go.
And you know who else does? And I feel bad because he posted a video for us to look at that I haven't looked at it yet. Simon Fisher 7. He's also tweeting at us too, so I didn't want to leave him out.
Oh, that dude is, and he's always all over.
Yeah, and dude, he cracks me up because he's a wrestling fan, and so like an old school wrestling fan. So I'll be making references that he gets, and I appreciate that. That's,
now you see, the only thing I could do there is I can make reference to Superfly Snuka to try and.
Ooh, you know, he killed a woman. Yeah,
I gotta stop. I gotta stop.
Her brain into a radiator. Yeah.
I got to stop referencing Superfly Snuka.
Yeah, I would. Well, no, it's actually really interesting because it happened in like 87 and like there was like tons of like cover up stuff that happened that didn't happen and then it moved on, blah 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 blah. And then he lost a civil trial but never paid the family for it. And then it was brought up again and it was going to go to trial, like, you know, federal court. But then he was able to get out of it because they were able to prove that years of wrestling has made him kind of like unfit to go to trial. Yeah, wow. For real. Like, I kid you not. But one of the defenses made was, look at this video right here. We can see Roddy Piper hit the man with a coconut in the head, and the coconut breaks open.
Clearly, he's not fit for anything mentally.
Anyway, that's neither here nor there. His daughter's wrestling in the WWE now, though. That's neat.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Tamina.
So, and also to finalize the idea that I started with, Smodco Internet Radio is kind of subversive now, if you will. Yeah. And we've always done the show live, and in doing so, I mean, we had what I consider an excellent textbook repeatable banter, because then we could say, I'm Will.
I'm Trent.
You're listening to NetHeads on Smodco Internet Radio.
At smodcast.com.
So I was thinking to myself, if Sir isn't official, then we can kind of give an unofficial name to anything, right?
I would think so.
Not really, but let's run with it anyway.
In a hypothetical world, yes.
Yeah, so I was thinking, well, what is another SI type of thing? And we actually saw one. I came up with one the other day, because I'm like, what could explain what this all is?
Oh,
and
yeah,
I mean, all of it. And it's real simple. Are you ready?
Yeah, hit me.
Smodco Internet Network.
Oh, shit.
It's just that easy.
Sin.
Thank you.
Oh, my God.
Right?
OMG, Becky.
Yeah. Right now, you're just
awesome.
sitting there, you're like, right? I mean, it's so simple. And there was the sin bin before, so we should have known.
Oh, fuck yeah. Jesus H.
So I'm thinking I can now, I'll just go, you know, a proud member of the Smodco Internet Network.
Sin.
You could do that, or you could just say it's smodcast.com.
Oh, shit. Damn it.
Well, and I'll switch to
here.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll do sin, the Smodcast Internet Network, and you'll go
at smodcast.com.
There we go. Perfect. We got that worked out.
Yeah.
So there's that little saving grace. Now, Trent, now that we've talked about
saving grace.
Now that we've talked about all this stuff, I think it'd be a great time to actually start the show. What do you think?
I guess only if Lee's tweeted something funny. Oh, hi, that fracking cat. He's also hanging out with us now as well.
And all you got to do hashtag NetHeads to do that. By the way,
simple.
1,098 mention of Ryan on NetHeads. Take that, Philly D. I don't think you want to call him out. Is all I'm saying.
Well, and if anyone knows, it would be him.
Yeah, definitely. I think so, because that one of our tried and true, along with you know, you still see traffic for him, Francis Rodriguez.
Oh yeah,
still,
for sure. Yeah. Like he likes everything on my Facebook page, and it's awesome.
Yeah, there you go. You've always got. I got one
Because
good
here's the
fan.
thing. Yeah, no, seriously. Like, how hard is it to like something? It's nothing. Anyone can do it, and he always likes stuff.
Oh my God!
Appreciate that, Francis.
Have you? This is going to be a telling tale, but you know, when you're a cable cutter, you come across things on certain subscription services, or when you pay way too much for cable, you get things. So one of the things I did not see in the movie theater, but we have watched here at home, is the new Vacation movie.
Oh yes, I haven't seen it, but I think it's on HBO now. I need to check it out. That's one that I want to see.
There, you really should, because there is this one scene where, because it's Rusty, not Rusty. It's what is the kid's name?
Yeah, Rusty.
Okay, it is Rusty.
Yeah, it's Rusty. Yeah, it's him growing up, going through the motions now, right?
Exactly, his family, and but there's this great scene where they're at a dinner with another family, and the other wife is making such a deal about the fact that Christina Applegate, who is Rusty's wife in the movie, she makes a big point of Christina Applegate not liking her vacation photos.
Ooh, like on the Facebook or whatever.
Yeah, on whatever it was, whether it was Instagram or Facebook. She's like, and she's even going through it. She's like, yeah, no, see, here's a picture of my kids, and they're here. You didn't like that. Now here's my man holding an axe. You didn't like that.
Oh man.
But it has a great payoff. I won't tell you the payoff to the joke.
Okay, good.
It's one of those great Christina, and I'll say this too. If there's any one comedic actress that I think deserves a little more than she has gotten in life,
I could not agree, dude. More.
It's Christina Applegate. She's got amazing timing.
Oh my gosh, that Up All Night show that was on NBC that had 2 seasons.
Yeah,
she was opposite Will Arnett.
That was one of my favorite new sitcoms.
My God, dude, it was so good, so good. Yeah, she's had an interesting career, man. She started at a super young age, with some great slapstick writing, and that's all about timing. So she picked it up early, man.
Yeah, and and she's obviously gone through a lot. There was the breast cancer scare.
Yeah,
but my whole point is, anything she is in, when she is not forced to quote unquote play the bitch, if you will.
Yeah,
she obviously, having come up the way she did, she has excellent comedic timing, and it's in response to the payoff of that joke I'm talking about. She just is. It's a very simple line read that she's given, but the way she delivers it's subtle yet poignant, and it's it's one of those ones that's it's an ear hook that it just won't get. It's an ear hook in my brain, Trent, because I never make sense. And Super Pong Man says, "Oh, Kelly." Yeah, that's right, Kelly.
Kelly Bundy.
Thank you. I couldn't remember Al Bundy there for a second.
The very first of my early masturbatory fantasies.
Oh,
yeah, we went there. Trent's Corner, folks. That's where shit gets real.
Well, now what's interesting then? That means you were masturbating about an older woman.
Yes. Yeah, I want to say she's like 6 years older than me. Let's look it up. Let's do some maths here.
I think the one that I was actually surprised about was to discover I think Alyssa Milano is my age.
Really? That's another one that was like, dude, I will always remember the episode where on Who's the Boss, where she can't catch the football right anymore because she's starting to get boobs and have to go bra shopping. Oh, that really did a number on me.
Oh, I bet, man. There was just your mom's just walking around the house. Where's all the Kleenex gone? What the hell?
Yeah. Yep.
That's what I appreciate about you, Trent, sitting on the other side of this microphone, is the fact that you're like, I'm gonna live my life the way I want. And if I want to talk about who I jerked off about, I'm gonna do it.
We'll do it. Oh wow, she's 9 years older than me.
Oh, so then Christina
44.
Applegate's around my age as well.
Yeah,
there you go.
There you go.
A lot of symmetry there. Not in our lives, just our ages. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, and the fact that in my television viewing, she has been there. Like,
she's been there forever.
Feels like it.
Yeah,
it really does.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I think I'm thinking of somebody else. At first I was thinking Christina Applegate, but no, then I was thinking of Joey Adams, because she.
Oh, sure. Oh, that's another one, man.
Easy there, Tiger. Okay, come on now. You're going.
We're just we're playing all the hits today.
Yeah, yes. We're trying to get actually. Well, no, I got to tell you something too, Trent. I'll bring this up again because now I have sat since the last time we broadcast, which it wasn't that long ago. But first of all, we've been on the air now for 20 some odd minutes, and I'm amazed we haven't brought up more about Salt Lake Comic-Con because
we have a lot to talk about.
Well,
We hyped that up.
and that's and there's some explanations which I'll get into.
Which we can get into.
And I'll be very frank as well. I'm not gonna hold punches, and I'm not gonna be candid. But before we get into it, I will say that since I feel like we have just been broadcasting only because since you had Salt Lake Comic-Con and we didn't, that same day where we would normally record, I ended up sitting in on the Nooner podcast, which is also on.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Which is also on Sin, which is free and funny, always available at
Smodcast.com.
We'll have this locked before the end of the episode.
You know what? I just need to say Smodcast. I don't need to do a voice. I just need to say Smodcast.com.
That's it.
Yeah. Voice. Yeah. I'm not one to do voices.
Because all we're looking for, man, this is all we're looking for
at Smodcast.com. Yeah.
It's just
It's not like I'm trying to be like Ray Romano and be like, oh, it's at Smodcast.com. Oh.
Elmo likes Smodcast.com.
Don't ever do that again.
By the way, one thing you never want to let a toddler in on the fact is that you can do any voice close to one that they like.
Really? Oh, because then they're like, do the voice.
Yeah, if I act, because here's the trigger, like, and I think everybody has this, like, Scott and Kevin have talked about how in order to get to Michael Caine or to get to Australian accent, they actually do English Michael Caine saying the size of a tangerine. So for me, with Elmo, it's really simple. It's just I'm going to move the microphone away.
Yeah.
Hi, baby. Okay, so hi, baby. Now, if I and by the way, I'm sure I will enjoy looking back at this because I've always wondered how weird it is to see that voice coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
And by the way, does it even sound close? Because it's different in your head. Because we got to
me, but I haven't been into Elmo recently.
Hey man, I don't know.
I mean, we had a good run, but it's been a few years. So,
the best part would be if I had brought up Elmo and you're like, oh God, Elmo 2, Applegate, Moana, Elmo.
It's just like, what are you trying to do? Just kill me here, man? Jesus.
Keep your pants on is all I'm asking for, Trent.
Hey, shoot him. It's just like Elvis. You got to shoot him from the waist up.
Oh, good point. So I can't even get in the car now or accidentally say hi, baby, without her going. But here's the thing. It's adorable because Blair will come up to me and she go, no, daddy, Elmo, hi, baby.
Oh, so she like says what you need to say. That's
exactly.
Awesome.
And I need to get in on it. I don't remember why I even brought up Elmo or what I was talking about. But so I was on the Nooner podcast, and then this past week, Big Brother is coming to a close. I haven't really talked about it much on the show. It's one of my favorite reality shows because
we're the longest running.
Yeah, 18 seasons now.
Jesus, man.
It turns out that McCrae Olsen, who was on season 15, is actually friends with Josh Stifter, and interestingly enough, I think was a fan of ours before I've even talked to him. So,
WTF?
Yeah, so he actually sat in with me on Friday. I was thinking we would do because I wanted to have a NetHeads episode for last week.
For the week, yeah.
And Trent had a lot of commitments at work, and he was recovering for Comic-Con. And I expected to do I was going to try and do half of a regular episode with him and then do the other half. That way there would be something up front for people to get a feel for, and it just wasn't instantly Big Brother in your face.
Just like, yeah.
Which that's not the way it played out, but it was an amazing conversation. And I got to say, though, having sat in on those two different events, it makes you appreciate how friends like you and I who sit down and do this week to week, we know each other's patterns and bits. So there are subtle exchanges that happen we don't even recognize that makes us flow very well.
Yeah, oh, for sure. That's actually interesting that you brought that up because during the Comic-Con in Salt Lake, there was a podcast panel that I was on, and it was really cool because I mean I was on there with the ladies from Stuff You Missed in History Class. Which is like, I mean, it's on the How Stuff Works network. It's a big, it's a big effing deal when it comes to, kind of not necessarily public radio, but of that ilk, and that's one thing that they talked about a lot is like, for a long time they had to be in studio together. And then finally, when one of them moved, they were able to do it because they knew each other well enough. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just play off each other like that.
And that's part of the reason why we do the YouTube now too, is it's nice to actually see because a lot of NetHeads used to be spent like this by me. Okay, here it is. I'll give you some insight. Microphone, and this is me on us doing NetHeads.
Yeah.
When you're talking, I'm listening.
Yeah.
And then I'll start talking.
And then start talking. Yeah.
And then I'm fidgeting with shit on the desk.
Yeah.
I will say, since we switched to doing video, I think I'm a much more attentive co-host.
Well, and I think it works great too because like because I'm like an animated dude, and so I'm like always like nodding my head up and down and being like, I don't know, But like I don't know, it helps. It helps a lot.
And if, by the way, in case you guys haven't, if you're listening to this as a podcast and you never checked out the video, we try and make it very easy for you also to find the video. If you go to smodcast.com, I try and embed the episodes on the pages.
Yep.
If you go to NetHeads on Air, we try and keep it updated. But that's another thing too that I don't the thing I want to say is, if you think that people on the internet that are able to make money by being on the internet have an easy life, as a person who's not making money on the internet, but trying to
imagine,
but trying to maintain a presence on the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, which is why I say I try to do this. I try to do that. Even our own website, every once in a while, I got to stop and like, shit, I haven't updated that yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know how other people are able to stay on top of it, other than the fact that that's all they do.
Yep. Yeah, like it's hard work, man.
Yeah, so there is a certain something to being able to know your co-host and do this. So always, if you want to get into doing a podcast, if you don't want to talk to yourself, just try and get the person that you talk easiest and the most with on with you. So Salt Lake Comic-Con happened.
Yes.
It was by all accounts, it looked like it went great.
I don't know what the final numbers were, but they were talking, but they were estimating perhaps 100,000, but for sure at least 70,000.
I think the most impressive thing that I saw from this was one of the videos that Ryan Call posted on Facebook. And what it showed, the part that got me the most was that essentially when some of these big name guests that they realize we can use the auditorium right next door for, dude, this was, I shit you not, folks, this was Mark Hamill in the round.
Yeah. Yeah. With opening act, William Shatner.
What the hell?
Come the fuck on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're sitting there in a basketball arena, fans all around you as he's walking around addressing the audience, talking about stuff. Like, I get goosebumps just even thinking about it.
You think you get goosebumps? I'm telling you right now, I'm not Mark Hamill, so I'm not saying that Mark Hamill would do this. But if it were me and I were in a situation where I was in the round and this, everywhere I looked around me, there were people that were just locked into what I was saying.
Fucking hanging on every word.
I would probably be uncomfortable because I would be erect right on stage.
Yeah. You just
the entire time. You're like,
don't to do my hands.
You can't even turn around to try and like catch it in the waistband.
Get away. Yeah, totally.
Like maybe if I could put it in the waistband so that way people won't see it. But no. You got nowhere to turn. Look really impressive. So let's address the elephant in the room that only one person asked about on Twitter.
Oh, that's nice.
Very.
I had a lot of people come up and talk to me at the Comic-Con itself, though.
Okay, so first,
what happened?
Maybe we should have said this in the beginning of the show, but our apologies to anyone that was looking forward to seeing a live NetHeads. First and foremost, essentially what happened, much like last time, but not like last time. One time, thankfully, I got the flu. What? No. And this time, like everything that was going on with my shoulder and my arm and my neck, I couldn't, when it all boiled down to it, I couldn't tolerate the thought of trying to sit in an airplane for that.
Like, yeah. And not only that, but then turn around, get back on it within like 4 hours and fly home.
Yeah, so that was the reason why I wasn't there. Now, the reason why the podcast didn't happen was because, I got budget to travel. So at that point, then we missed the window for the audio video request.
Yep.
To have me virtually there. And, when it all came down to it, too, one of the things that I didn't expect this year that I don't even think Trent quite expected, even though he was scheduled. I mean, you were a paneling maniac.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I did 12 panels, I think.
And there was literally going to be a NetHeads panel right after ours. So that's the reason why it didn't happen. And it wasn't that we disrespect or that we don't appreciate the people that do want to see us live. And I understand too, because Trent is he's a local person, and so there would be more of a local interest there. So our greatest apologies, but just everything just kept falling apart left and right.
Yes. Yeah.
So it was
and on top of that too, the comic book men had an awesome opportunity come up. Like, this is reality TV, folks. Like, unscripted television stuff just happens, and you got to capitalize on it. Because it's unscripted. You can't recreate that moment. And if you're following any of the guys, you've heard all about the awesome blood drive they were able to do for the show, and allow fans a chance to give back and get maybe a chance to be on the show. So they didn't end up coming either. Like, all in all, though, like.
Oh yeah, that was the other part I forgot about.
Yeah, that was the big part.
The whole reason why we had what would have been such an interesting panel, and why they put us in what was really a large room.
The like 2,500 seat room.
Oh my God, dude! If I had flown out for that, no comic book man. And let's look. I'm not. I hope you don't take this as an insult.
No.
But let's be real. At most maybe we'd get 1 or 2 rows.
Yeah, we get a few rows.
I mean, if we got them all to sit in the same rows,
people's feet get tired. They want to sit down in an air-conditioned area. Doesn't smell quite as bad.
So that also probably that may have been more demoralizing than anything else for me. But how many people knew that the comic book men had to cancel before? And actually, it wasn't just the blood drive too. If you follow along with Kevin Smith's stuff, what happened was, Kevin has got 2 active television shows in production.
Yep.
And had to go up for Flash stuff because he's currently
direct. Yeah.
He was just in pre-production, and I think they got 1 more day of pre, and then they're in production, and he's shooting this next week. So because Kevin had to go up to Canada, and because they had to do this and that, they had to shift production days. So the very Sunday after the con, they were shooting as well.
Yeah, so, like that the day they would have been going back. And on top of that, like, and here's how crazy Kevin's schedule is, man. Like, okay, he goes up, starts working on pre-production, takes a quick break on Saturday and goes to the Toronto Fan Expo, and then Sunday jumps down to New Jersey and then jumps right back to pre-production on Flash. Like, what did you guys do with your weekend? Because Jesus Christ.
Then he went through pre-production for a week, then flew back home, went to an entire day of stage shooting of Geeking Out.
Yes, yeah.
Then to Hollywood Babylon last night, and I don't even know when he's flying back to Canada, but whenever it is, he's sleeping.
And happened to pop in up for a session on Sirius in between. Like, good Lord.
Yeah. By the way, I also love coming into some Twitter exchanges where I'm not paying attention close. Like, I don't know what Crystal is saying in reference to, but she tells Lee, "We are home, dummy. I'm staring at you."
Hashtag NetHeads.
There you go. So anyway, so that's the reason why there was no NetHeads panel, and our biggest apologies. And if there's any one thing that tears my heart out, it's to hear that there really was even one person that wanted to attend, and we weren't there. The previous year when I got sick, Trent was lucky enough to be able to pull in people, and they had the great No More Wilkins. No, it was just No Wilkins.
No Wilkins. Hashtag No Wilkins, I think.
I was thinking One More Wilkins, so No More Wilkins.
But No More, I can't remember what it was.
I guess that kind of sends too hostile of a message when I'm not there, though, right?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, for one thing, No Wilkins is a fact. No More Wilkins is a desire.
Yeah, true. I think we did No Wilkins.
I don't know, though. The way you said true so much with No More Wilkins being a desire.
No, I'm just saying, no, it's not it's a desire.
Oh, okay.
Not my desire.
Thank goodness. I was a little scared there for a second.
anything could be a desire.
But dude, there was a lot of
desires might involve Christina Applegate and Elmo. If that's your thing, right on, man. More power to you.
We're not going to judge.
Yeah, who are we?
All right. So you were on 12 panels, but one of the ones that I heard about that I just thought was the coolest of the cool. Now, mind you, I don't actively watch Adventure Time. I passively watch Adventure Time.
Yes.
However, several of my nieces,
yes,
I mean, they lived and breathed Adventure Time.
Yep.
And and I kid you not, guys, I don't want to say it was at the last second, Trent, but I mean, scheduling for a con wise,
yeah,
it's kind of at the last second. You found out you were hosting a panel for what?
Yeah. So like 5 days, maybe 4 days before, the programming director contacted me, said, hey, sorry, that things have fallen through with the comic book man and everything. Do you watch Adventure Time? And I'm like, fuck yes, I watch Adventure Time. And he just goes, well, we got Jeremy Shada, and we'd like you to do the spotlight interview with him in the that 2,500 seat room. And I'm just like, okay, yes, please.
I'm sorry. So you're telling me a show that I love, you want me to conduct the one-on-one interview with the guy that is one of the main voices?
Yeah, with the lead actor. Sure, I'll do that. Why not?
You know what? Hold on. Let me check my schedule. Fuck yes.
Oh, but dude, it was so cool. And in prep for it, like, I listened to a bunch of interviews that he had done. I watched plowed through the last 2 seasons of Adventure Time, so I was up on current stuff that fans might want to talk about in the Q&A stuff, and went into it. And Ryan Call is going to be taking a lot of the panels from Comic-Con and releasing them as podcasts. Makes total sense, right? To have a Salt Lake Comic-Con podcast stream. I hope I can announce that anyway. So you'll get a chance to listen to the interview I did with him. But he's 19 now, started when he was 12, and he's been in the industry and he's been around fans since day one. That it was like the funnest, easiest interview I've ever conducted, because I'd throw something out and he'd put his spin on it and then toss it right back to me. And it worked out so well. And I tell you what, man, I don't think I've ever met just a better looking person in my life. He's a good looking kid. He's really funny, super nice. There's nothing to not love about this kid. Just started a punk pop band with his brother. He's got the world by the short hairs, folks.
And then to top it all off, the best part is that apparently it wasn't just the interview time that you got to spend with him.
Yeah, and this is the really cool part. So he's really good friends with if you're familiar with Twisted Tunes. It's a bunch of the most famous voice actors that we all know, and then they get together and do script readings of your favorite films, whatever it is. And they select each other to do different really weird voices, right? So you'll have Hermione as Goofy. You'll have Harry Potter as Barack Obama. You'll have Hagrid as whatever, right? And he's done quite a few of these with them in the past. And when they found out, and just out of everything, having to mesh everything together, his panel with me was going on the same time that they were doing the Twisted Tunes in the main ballroom, the huge room. And they wanted him. They're like, we got to have Jeremy come out with this. We got to have him come out. And so we cut the 15 minutes short, the interview I did with him. And then his manager was telling us what we need to do, right? So cut it off at 15. Tell him we'll be doing photo ops and autographs, blah blah blah. And then you need to run down here, and we'll take you down there, blah blah blah. And I'm not thinking oh, okay, I'll just walk behind the curtain and they'll take off. But they're like, no, come with us. And so I got to go with them and just hang out. And we ended up sitting during Twisted Tunes for an hour before they brought him on, and just laugh and point at the actors on stage and make jokes about them and stuff. It was just really, really cool, man. I can't even. It was pretty awesome,
dude. I'm so glad to hear that too, because One of the things that I felt the worst about was that once again, Trent's at con, and then he's getting a message from Will saying, "I'm sorry, dude, it's not going to happen."
You know what? Life happens, man.
But
It's all
but
good.
it's not only good to hear that you got to have an awesome time at the con, but also that it is in no way, shape, or form an impact on the fact that we weren't able to do our podcast there. I'm glad to hear that. I really am. You know.
Yeah.
But you know what else I'm glad to hear about too. And it's interesting. I'm going to tell a little story. I don't usually talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
And I may have mentioned something about it in the past. Recently, Kevin was showing the movie Yoga Hosers in San Francisco. And while that was getting ready and while that was going on, I got to have some what I would just call one-on-one time with him.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this kind of thing ever happens because and I don't want to say it never happens because I don't want to minimize anything or overstate anything.
Yeah, just happy for any experience that comes our way.
Right, because case in point, when I covered the board for the Las Vegas show, I went to the guys only because I'm like, okay, I'm back here. How do you guys want to do this? Great. At that point, then I didn't linger because I'm like, it's not my place. It's not my thing. They may have a pregame. I'm getting the hell out of here.
No,
I'm just
totally like any performer's got to get in their zone before they do it.
Right. And plus, it's I don't expect anyone to be my best friend and be like, hey, no, Will, hang out here. Come on, have a drink with me. Tell me how things have been going. I don't expect that kind of thing.
Right.
And more times than not, I will probably bow out of a situation where I may actually get, FaceTime.
Right. Yeah.
Just out of sheer, I really don't want to screw this up. So
yeah. As John Hodgman says, it always hurts to ask.
Yeah. So what I do, with the case of the San Francisco thing, I had to be on hand, make sure everything worked. And then when Kevin arrived, I helped coordinate him coming in, at which point he was in the green room. I knew where the green room was. I'm like, I can go by the projector now. Just tell me what you want. And instead he started talking to me. And then afterwards, it's like, okay, that was great. The movie's playing. Here's this. And then he started engaging me. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I won't fuck off then.
Right.
And one of the things that happened, I put my foot in my mouth.
Uh-oh.
Because we were talking about some things. And I said, I know, man. And just, from the outside, it just sucks to be Kevin Smith. Right. I know. You're even thinking to yourself, what the hell?
Yeah.
Let me explain it, though.
I can only hope he said, right?
No, he got the quizzical look. And I just said, well, it's because if you do or like something, the internet hates you. Or if you don't do something or you don't like something, the internet hates you. It's like
damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't mean like the entire internet, but I'm like, there's just like a certain contingent. Right, or more to the point too, you can't just talk about something now on a podcast because you're a news source.
Yeah, because someone's going to turn it into an article within like 10 minutes.
Exactly, especially if you say anything, including I was wondering what was going to happen because it was not yet Comic-Con and he was on stage and he made mention about one of the 2 television shows that he's got in development right now.
Yeah.
And he talked about a probable location. I'm like, wow, that was pretty definitive sounding to just say to a bunch of people here.
Yeah.
A couple weeks later, the news did break. So it's like, okay, cool. That was a nothing item anyway then. But, you're left wondering. So my whole point was I said this kind of semi-stupid statement because it generally, it seems like it does because people like to attack him and dump on him all the time.
Oh, for sure.
But then he just said something. And the reason why I'm bringing this all up is because something else happened similar to this that everyone gets to experience. Okay. He then said, you know what? I understand your point. And yeah, he's like, but then the upside is I get to look at the rest of my life. And I'm like, if that's the price, okay.
Fuck, dude.
It was just that simple.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, if that's the price, okay.
Well, dude, and another one of the panels I was on was just like a Kevin Smith films panel, right? Talking about the films and career of Kevin Smith. And it was really interesting because there were a couple of people who were like diehard, listen to every single thing on the network, no matter how unrelated it is to Kevin Smith, it kind of is under his brand. So by God, we're listening to it. And then there was another camp that was like, we're View Askew only. Everything else after that, it's like the prequels didn't happen. You know, it's like those type of people. Like we're only looking at this. This is the only part that's canon. We don't care about the rest of the shit. Whatever. And like it was just so funny to see this polar. Like some people who are just so angry about the direction he's taken, and some people were so supportive about the direction he had taken. And I'm hoping this is what you're getting to with the something that everyone can experience part, because I had to explain like to this one dude who just would not get it. Like, these are Kevin's choices. Like he purposely burned bridges because he was fed up and like tired of playing, dancing for the fiddler and then not winning ever because he couldn't make everyone happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I hope you're talking about this Yahoo video, right?
I am. Now,
Yes.
First of all, Trent, I gotta ask you,
because that was like in that video they sum everything up that had that video been out during the con, I just would have played that and said, shut the fuck up and listen.
Well, let's see now. When did I rush that to production? September 2nd. So I rushed it to publication. So it's like hard to, and it's true. This like dropped right as one of the pre-Yoga Hosers items, or as the Yoga Hoser release items. It's this great interview. I got to ask you though, because Trent, first of all, let's get into the science of things really quick. We're NetHeads, we're nerdy, we're techie. When we cry out of happiness, what they say is that what we're truly doing is we're mourning our innocence. Because the one horrible truth about being a human being is the fact that nobody gets out alive. It's just it's a fact of life.
Yep.
So it's like we're mourning our mortality and our innocence, our loss of our innocence, the blissful time when everything is magical. That being said, I don't know what it is, but lately I appear to cry at everything.
Oh, dude. Welcome to my world.
Okay, so, and you are what I would consider to be a generation behind me. So
Yep.
So you're saying, though, you're starting to I wonder if we're hitting kind of a zeitgeist with this.
Dude, I don't know, man. Like, it's kind of cool that guys can cry. Well, I mean, they can always cry. It's, but it's not like as taboo as it, back once was, I guess.
Yeah, you don't have to be playing really sad Phil Collins music while standing in a cold shower with no heat, naked in the fetal position, crying to yourself.
Yeah. Crying game.
You can do it openly. No, I'm actually describing something from my moody teens, but let's not get into that.
Shit just got real on the heads.
So I've been experiencing, and I really think that's what it is. It's kind of like, I'm hoping this is my version of a midlife crisis. It's just, Will's going to cry at everything. Because if that's it, that's great. Because I'm not getting into a ridiculous sports car or blowing up my entire marriage for stupid reasons.
You're doing pretty well then. You're above average.
Now, case in point, the reason why I bring this up is because I need to know what your reaction was to this video, because I am not kidding. I didn't want to go into this, and I don't want to say I was pre-fed because of the tweet that Kevin did that led me to this.
Right, yeah.
But a silly interview between Kevin and his daughter, where his daughter asked him a question. Yeah. I was bawling. Was it just me?
Oh my God, dude. No, it was not just you. And I think it touched fucking everybody. Like this was on the front page of Reddit when it launched. Do you know how hard, you have to be the cutest kitten on the internet to make the front page of Reddit. That's not easily done, right?
You have to be the stupidest criminal in Florida that day.
Yeah, just that day. Yeah.
To get on the front page of Reddit.
Like, it hit so hard. I had people not even close to Kevin Smith fans sending the link to me on Facebook, just being like, oh my God, did you know he was like this? Is this like, and I'm just like, listen to his stuff. It's total. That's Kevin uncut, except I think he may have been circumcised. I'm not sure.
I can't speak from personal experience.
Yeah, I think I remember something coming up about it once, but anyway.
Now usually we don't want to play other people's IP.
But dude, we should.
Okay. The co-host says we should, but just go to smodcast.com, the news section. You can find the article there. You can go back to the usual Yahoo source. here it is. This is and the interesting thing about this is a situation where Kevin's daughter, who is one of the stars of the movie Yoga Hosers,
Yes.
is interviewing him for Yahoo. It's Yahoo Superfan movies.
Yeah.
And she starts off with what she probably was a really loaded question.
Right.
And it just takes a left turn.
Yeah. Oh my God, does it ever?
I mean, this
a
really
left turn
could be
right into your heart, man.
It is right there, right in your heart. So here it is. The way they describe it is Kevin Smith shares sweet moment with daughter Harley Quinn Smith. The title of the section or this little vignette is How Kevin Got His Groove Back, which is kind of an interesting yet weird reference when you hear where this goes.
Yeah.
So here it is.
I'm Harley Quinn Smith. I am this man's daughter, and I'm here to interview him because he talks so much, and I clearly just haven't heard enough of it. It's my favorite thing.
Well played.
This is a dream.
So, please tell me, who is your favorite actor you've ever worked with?
You.
There's no wrong answer.
You, hands down, you. And I don't just say it because you're my kid and you're standing in front of me and their camera's running.
Are you sure?
Absolutely. Here, I'll tell you a quick story. So,
Of course.
Naturally.
I got into a bunch of fights with critics a few years ago when I was making the movie Cop Out. And it was intentional. I had grown very dependent on positive critical reviews. So for me, I kind of wanted to not do that. I kind of wanted to be the guy that still makes the stuff he wants to make. And I figured at that point in my life, if I poison the well, I burn down the village and just fight with critics, I'll be free. So while we're making Tusk, I'm still in that combative mindset. Like, I can't wait to show them this shit, man. If they shit on this, I knew they were blah, blah, blah. And then we shoot a scene in Tusk with you.
Excuse me. How far is Bifrost from here?
Bifrost? That's far. Yeah, it's about 2 hours from here.
Yeah, the kids here at the convenience store are telling me that it's about 2 hours away.
I hate American guys.
With you and Lily Rose. And I remember asking Jen, my wife, your mom. I remember asking Mom, do you think like Harley could do it? And she's like, oh, that'd be fun. You know, we didn't even know Johnny Depp was in the movie. And then later on, Johnny wound up in the movie.
Last night after you called me, I sleep like the breastfed baby.
So you were going to be in a scene with Johnny Depp.
Oh my God. It's Mr. Mustache. Colleen. Oh my God, what?
And, you know, Harley, I only know Johnny Depp through Harley because Harley and Lily went to school together. And, you know, she knows, of course, what Johnny Depp does her whole life and stuff and who he is. But in her world, when she was younger, Johnny Depp was the guy who made the world's best pancakes because she'd stay over Lily Rose's and he'd make breakfast, something I never did. And she'd come home and be like, why can't you make pancakes as good as Johnny Depp? I'm like, I can't do anything as good as Johnny Depp. Why do you sound like the internet? And so Harley here goes like, you said, oh, Lily Rose is coming tomorrow. She's going to watch. I said, she's coming over. Why don't we stick her in the movie too? Like she could stand next to you behind the register and we could split your dialogue.
Give him the pad. You give him the pad. Give him the pad.
And then we brought you guys on set.
Isn't that weird?
Okay.
And that's where everything changed. That's where you became my favorite performer of all time because you were the difference maker. I let go of all that bitter that I held on to for so long, the me versus them and that chip on the shoulder artist. I remember like that day going home and the first person I saw was not you, but Jennifer. And she was like, how was it? And I was like, I think my daughter saved me today. She was like, what? And I told her, I was like, I think she may be my salvation. Like that kid made it fun again.
And now
I felt like I was 21. Yeah, it was a huge moment for me. Don't do that. But it was. I was like, I think that kid may have made all the difference. Like, I get it now. You made me want to be a better filmmaker more than anyone in this world because I was like, oh, I could be useful to her. So yeah, because of that, you're my favorite performer. Got another question?
Okay, we'll just tie it up there.
Oh shit, dude.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
Now, here's the thing that messes me up about this. And you know what? Anyone listening to us, yeah, you can say, you guys have got your head so far up Kevin Smith's ass. Tell us what his tonsils smell like.
That's fine.
You can say that, and that's fine. I fully accept that.
Yeah.
But from an outside point, okay, just looking at this just from the abstract elements, the thing that I appreciate most about this, and I think it's pretty clear when I'm the guy that pulled this for the news page.
Yeah.
I put a quote in there, and this was the part that I think hit me the most. I think my daughter saved me today. And the reason why that grabbed me is because it's important, I think, to acknowledge wherever we find what we consider to be our truths.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Yeah, and there's a life lesson that's to be learned here. And actually, I think we've all done kind of moments like this. Kevin wasn't happy with the way things are going, so what he did was he basically tried to sabotage the situation to force him somewhere else.
Yeah, right.
And then the nuttiness with Tusk happened, but then this one moment happens within it. And the reason why I say this is important is because as a truth, it's just that, our perspective on things controls everything.
For sure.
And like literally, I could have had a nightmare last night, woken up in a bad mood, and been surly ever since, which, by the way, I'm acknowledging is probably the case. But, at the moment where I can come to accept that, I have the ability to act on it, and I have the ability to change it. Much in the same way that they say, alcoholics or those that are drug addicted, they have to hit rock bottom, or they have to get to their moment of clarity.
Right.
And that's the fact that when you can finally acknowledge and accept something, you have the ability to change it. And that's really what I took most out of this. But it was also interesting because, unlike you, Trent, in your heightened awareness and your ability to apparently listen and comprehend, I wasn't fully aware, even being a part of the mechanism, even if it's a cog that's 40 paces away on a different building.
Yeah.
I didn't fully pick up on the fact that his actions there were to literally burn the bridges. And I like when Red State happened and the Red State tour happened, I really kind of viewed that as more of a, I have the ability to try and do this, so I think I want to try and do this. I didn't really view it that much as the telling critics to stick it. And
yeah, I mean, there, and this is when I was doing that master's paper just on Kevin Smith's rhetoric. Like, there's this podcast where he talks about going on stage at Sundance during Red State and basically just telling all the critics to fuck off, and he even said at that point, like, that's it, I'm done with these guys. Like, there's a very, very actual point where that happened, and then his whole career has just kind of gone on this like awesome path ever since that's been wholly directed by himself. Like, very cool.
And in the end, I think that anyone can appreciate, and this could also be the reason why I guess I shouldn't have said that it sucks to be Kevin Smith. What I should have said is it's got to be pretty tiring.
It's exhausting. Oh my God.
It's got to be tiring dealing with the extremism in dealing with being Kevin Smith.
Dude, look at the fucking bullshit that Harley had to put up with. That famously, another thing that got a lot of publicity was that kid that was, or whoever, Astard, was just like all over being an asshole to Harley on Instagram. Like,
which, by the way, odds are it was an adult who at that point is verbally abusing a 17-year-old child, a minor in any state,
because they're mad at her dad. Like, but I mean, and she fucking rolls with it. You know what I mean? Just like her old man.
Well, not only did she roll with it, but here's the thing that screwed me up even more. And you know what? I kind of cried about this too. I just, God Almighty! I'm going to walk out to a set of divorce papers. It's like, you know what? I listened live, and clearly, I don't have your testicles, but you don't have them either. So
you know
just
what?
Sign here.
You're all prepped up. You're going to walk out and then just embrace and cry, and it'll be awesome.
Oh, that would be that, and then the music plays and the Nicholas Sparks ending plans. I mean, but
or
if I walk out, I'm inside. I can't be in the rain with my shirt open.
You know what? It'll be like Officer and a Gentleman. You walk back and you'll just say, "I came back for you." Pick her up and walk out.
But we're already home. Where am I walking out to?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. This was the part that messed me up the most. Because if anybody, and mind you, I'm starting down this path. There are certain aspects of social media that my daughter is currently active on.
Oh God, I didn't. Yeah. Holy
So
shit.
now there is I mean, I'm facing a lot of the things I've never had to face before in my life, like the appropriate use of the internet and
Right.
appropriate interaction from the internet.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I know if anyone
Oh my
said
God.
anything to my kid
Oh.
and they were attacking them based on something I did, regardless of what I did, if I did anything,
Right.
I don't know that I would be able to react in a positive manner. I guess that's the best way to put it.
Yeah. Right.
And
Without like trying to hunt this fucker down and tear out his throat.
something along those lines. Yeah. Okay. So it's nice to know that you're able to do
dude.
and empathize
Yeah.
with me.
Yes.
But instead, what happened? Said parent tweeted about it. And he didn't say, it's low life pieces of shit like this that give the internet a bad name, or it wasn't like, can you believe this jealous fucktard or whatever. No, instead he said, you know what? Don't be like this guy. If you've got a problem with something, then create something better.
Yep.
Just create
exactly.
something.
Yeah.
Take that energy and put it to use, because you could hate on something and in the end, what do you have? Nothing. But if you channel that energy into something else. So it didn't even go on the attack.
Yeah, man. I know.
What the hell?
And then anecdotally tells that when he asked Harley about it, she just said, well, it just must be really frustrating to have a dick that small with a voice that big. It's like, holy shit, that's the funniest. Good on you, man. Fucking A. Like, damn.
Now, I'm not going to say that my daughter says zingers like that, but I have to tell you, if there is any one thing I'm appreciating in seeing a child starting to grow towards adulthood, I do kind of feel a certain level of pride in the fact that she really seems to have absorbed the funnier parts from both my wife and I.
Yeah.
And has amalgamated them into a very amusing individual.
Oh, like that's all, dude. That's the payoff, right? For being a parent, like
somewhat.
one of the many, I can only imagine.
I don't know if you've noticed in the past 6 years, Trent. Apparently, if I were to even have a minor power, not a superpower, but let's just say an enhanced ability, it might be sarcasm.
Sure.
That honed and crafted a little further and then turned back upon you.
Ooh.
I'm not saying it can hurt. I'm just saying that, I'm sure if I were a master swordsman and then I was able to teach a student who then became greater than me.
Sure. Yeah.
Then that cut may come, it may be a little deep.
Yeah. Especially when,
especially when you want to sit back and go, damn, that was good.
Well, I'm just saying, like, she's got to know, though, that, even by striking you down, you'll become more powerful than ever.
No, because she tells me the Star Wars movies are boring.
Oh, no!
I know, right? That you want to talk about cutting deep. That one was hard. And I got all dude, I got so pissy about it too. Because she's like, no, they are just boring. I said, no, you can't say, you can't say that. You just did. But it's not appropriate to say that. It's more appropriate to say I find them boring, because they aren't categorically boring for everyone. Just like there's this great thing that I learned about at the San Francisco showing of Yoga Hosers that ended up, I think, within about 2 weeks getting picked up or it came up again. It was this great video from one of the Yoga Hosers Q&As where the guy just, all he wanted to say, he stood up in line to get his question heard, and all he wanted to say was that movie was just bad. It was just unarguably bad. That's just what it is. At which point it was great because Kevin laid down the money and said, dude, I want to give you your money back because I can't give you back your time, but I can give you this, and I appreciate that. I totally get it. He was really nice to the guy.
Yeah.
But the thing that I in that circumstance I got petty too, because once again you can't say that it is just categorically bad, because for example, Kevin Smith, the man who made it, he adores it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it is not categorically bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this in one way or another about a commentary about yoga hosers, but I'm just saying that I can't believe, and maybe this is a problem, Trent, but I am adhering to a lot of fundamental truths, and I'm hearing them. For me, they're fundamental. I'm hearing. God, I'm sounding a lot like Trump now.
No,
but-
you haven't said awesome once. You're fine.
True. I'm not saying this is Trent.
These are huge truths. They're the
huge
best
truths.
truths ever.
Everybody's talking about these truths. But no, I'm starting to I don't know, acquire, learn, or maybe it's just the fact that when you turn 45, you start to realize, why am I going to waste so much energy on this shit? But and here I am pedantically arguing these points at the same time, so I instantly invalidate myself. I am both my plus and my negative. I am my yin and my yang. That I am offset completely by an absence of chi. All of these power terms mean absolutely nothing in what I wanted to talk about. What I was trying to say.
Yeah,
going off on an absolute tangent. I forgot where I was going. What was the last thing I was talking about that seemed real?
The dude and Kevin gave him his money back.
Yeah, you can't it's not categorically bad, because the one truth that I found that is in a podcast, once again, but it was on an episode of Smodcast where Scott, and I'm sorry, I know I'm repeating myself, NetHeads, but if you ever knew my father in real life, you would completely understand why you hear the same things over and over, because that's what he did too. But it's when Scott said that it was like, it was in reference to some movie and he liked it, but somebody else didn't. And he just realized it is both those things. It's all things, because art is interpretation and reaction.
Yep. Yeah.
So anytime anyone creates something, the moment it is being observed upon by somebody else's perspective, it is that something to those people.
Yep.
So in other words, everything,
it's all perspective, man.
It's all good, it's all bad, it's all somewhere
it's like
in
people.
between.
Like we just are. There's no good, there's no bad. Like it's just perspective and different perspectives. Like that's it.
Yeah, and that's maybe the sooner we can come to these kind of realizations, the better. And I don't mean to be getting so metaphysical, and I know we haven't even talked about it, but I kind of got creeped out when I was doing the graphic for this week's show, because it incorporates a very poignant date.
Right. Yeah.
At least in American history, today is the 15th observance, if you will, of the horrific attacks on September 11th. And that too in itself is kind of one of those items that informed my life, because that was the first moment where I think the true harshness of what reality can be was finally shown to my naive eyes.
Yeah.
Being born in 71, I never really truly lived up until that point through a real war. There was no Korean, no Vietnam, no World War. So my eyes hadn't ever seen something of that. Yes, there were photos of things and everything else, but when you wake up and the significant other in person in your life asks if we're at war, and you have no idea what's going on, and then you turn on the TV and you're seeing these images that we've only seen on film, in fabrication, if you will.
That not real.
Yeah, like even then, my mind wasn't. We at this point in life, we really hadn't had fake YouTube videos, but it's
right
at the time.
YouTube
one thing
exists then.
At the time, the easiest way I could equate it though is when you're looking at a YouTube video and you're like, oh, that's got to be fake, because how can it be real? And that moment for me was seeing planes crash into buildings, and then the realization of everything that was falling from the buildings.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Jesus.
So it's I hope no one thinks we are in any way disrespecting the memory of that day.
No, at all.
But this is the day we normally broadcast, is all I can say. And I gotta say too that I'm hoping maybe that this remembrance, observance, whatever you want to call it, I'm hoping maybe it can put some of this presidential race rhetoric to bed, and people can focus on the important things again.
Dude, a friend of mine. He's the leader of a rockabilly band in Southern California. The Rockets, and he was an enlisted sailor. He was in the Navy, and I always try to like follow his his perspective on things. And today he posted something that's probably the most, I don't know, man. It's had my mind thinking a lot harder about just about everything and politics and just like people in the world and how we view people. He posted a picture, it's one of those that are going around a million different places today of the towers with a flag or, something like that. And it says in honor and remembrance. And he wrote, it's so fucking poignant, especially for someone who, went to war over this. Never forgetting is easy. Can we forgive?
Holy crap.
Yeah. Like it's just something, and I don't, there's no answer or anything for that, but it's just like, it's really affected how I've been thinking about, just this day and what happened and everything that has come, knee-jerk reaction or not because of it. You know what I mean?
What point in your life was that at? Because for me, let me just get this out of the way. I was now in the second piece of property I owned, and we had just months before moved down to Southern California. So we were now away from all of our family. And I think at the time also, I was, as we would call it, fun employed.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
That's all right. I've had enough full pause. You just chuckle over any pain.
No, I was 18 and a senior in high school, and it was my turn of like student government that day to like read the announcements. So like the principal, we like talked about what I should say and talk about it and stuff. And that's like wild shit was still happening because it was early in the morning. But yeah, and I remember being kind of pissed at a couple of teachers that wouldn't like let us watch the news. Like they wanted us to keep on working on our homework and stuff like that. And it kind of pissed me off. But I'm, whatever.
No, you know what? I don't think I would fault you. First of all, I got to tell you, big F you to the administration for still laying that on a kid.
God, dude. Yeah,
I mean, there had to have been a point where you were working at the copy, and how many times did you say, "Are you sure you just don't want to do this?" I mean,
yeah, like really, like come on, like they're like, no, it needs to come from a student, blah blah. I'm just like, Jesus.
Now, but on the second point, because I think even at the time in my wife's office, even though people were at work and they were working, nobody frowned upon like the news being played and the information being provided.
And like, yeah, I don't know, just mind-boggling. I think something for like to happen today, that would just be the norm. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, of course we're gonna. This is affecting everyone. You need to engage in it. I guess I don't know.
Well,
or just go back to your fucking calculus. I don't give a shit.
Nah, well, you see, the problem is that you're competing with social media and mobile devices, and
right, yeah.
So really, I'm sure they
That's
almost
true.
have to kind of kowtow to awareness,
right? Because there's at that time, man, like I knew it was on the TV, and I'd just been watching another class, and I couldn't believe that like we weren't watching it in the next class.
Well, because it's real. I mean, if you want to talk about what real education is,
oh, for sure, man. Absolutely. Doesn't get more real than that.
But then again, at the same time, and I don't know what things would have been like in Wyoming. I just know here in California, there would probably be concerns about, well, maybe this isn't the type of information that this family would normally share at home with their kids. We can't be liable for or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
It would come down to liability and litigation because it's fucking California, man.
Yeah, that's true. And see that's something that never even crossed my mind, but you're right. That's maybe wise on their part then.
It may have. I'm just saying it may have played a part in it, but but still, I would not have stuck my guns that, oh no, this needs to come from a student. No, sometimes even teenagers in high school need to hear an adult figure. It's not I'm not going to be any more comforted hearing from my peer that things are going to hell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, but look thankfully, look who the students were in the hands of, though, because if nothing else, we know that you can step up to the mic proper and just drop the dope rhymes.
I guess.
You weren't so confident at the time. You're
I was like, oh, this is happening.
what? No, wait.
I don't, dude. I don't remember anything I said.
Okay, good. Because I was like, what?
This is weird.
Because I'm wondering, what do you finally decide upon?
Yeah.
What's going to be said?
Why can't I just talk about what's for lunch?
Yeah. Can we just? By the way, guys, there's some stuff happening in the east area of the country. Buildings are coming down. Planes have been crashed.
Yeah.
But hey, it's Tater Tot Friday, everybody.
Right? Yeah. Like what do you? And let's. Oh, I do remember, the following Friday, because I think it happened on. Was it a Thursday?
No, it was a Monday. I believe it was
okay.
a Monday.
I remember the following Friday we had a football game, and the officials were pissed that we were having a football game. They didn't think that we should be having a football game in light of everything. And it was just poorly officiated. And it's also the football game that separated my shoulder, for which I've had 2 surgeries and continual problems the rest of my life.
Wow. So that in itself, it holds even more pain for you. It was a Tuesday, by the way.
Okay. Tuesday. Yeah.
So had the other members of the administration or the parents had their way and had their bid no game right now, you could be a multi-million-dollar sports athlete.
Yeah, well, you never know.
Maybe you'd be Tony Stark rich right now.
Yeah, I doubt it.
It could happen. You
Yeah,
never
you know what? Anything's possible.
Yeah, multiple universes. By the way, can I just give since we've gone, and wow, we haven't gone like a full hour and a half in a long time.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry, I know. Trent.
Yeah, we're going an hour and a half, baby. Ooh.
Trent rightfully brought up a point, and I think it's fair too. And that's that the really good length for a podcast is probably about an hour.
Yeah.
Because you're asking for a very concise, understandable, manageable window from people.
Yeah.
Especially when we aren't Kevin Smith. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Because really, let's face facts, guys. You've been listening to 2 other guys sitting next to you at the next booth at Denny's, talking to one another for an hour and a half. That's what you've really been doing,
right? Yeah.
Except occasionally we look over and we listen to what some of the other guests are saying as well.
Yeah. We're like, oh, hey, look, Lee Velasquez and his wife are having a tiff on the Twitter. That's fun.
Oh, that's I guess it's
art imitating.
When September 11th hits on a Sunday, I guess that's just kind of what happens.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. Everyone's in a bad mood.
Look, guys, I'm an asshole and I'm hard to live with. All right, and sometimes most people have this thing. It's this like limiter.
Sure.
Between the brain and the mouth.
Yeah.
It adequately kicks in when something you just generally shouldn't say is said.
When it should. Right. Yeah.
Apparently, when I got that vertigo problem, that filter went right out the window.
Went right out the door. It's fine.
I acknowledge it. The funniest thing though, I think, is that my wife eventually does get to these apologies in the long run.
Yeah,
because she does still listen to our podcast, even though when she tells me I was listening to NetHeads, I probably shouldn't immediately follow with "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
Maybe that's our problem, Trent. I have to have more confidence in our brand.
That's funny.
But we haven't even, look, they just announced the new iPhone. I haven't gotten your opinion on that this week.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Doing a shitty job. By the way, did you hear, though, apparently the big news drop of the iPhone 7 didn't exactly ring everyone's bells the way they were hoping.
No, it did not.
Apple stock, even though there were a lot happened on the market on Friday, but Apple stock was down 5%.
Yeah.
Because apparently not everybody fell in love with the fact that. So what is your take on this? The most controversial thing about the iPhone 7, Trent, is that Apple is saying, you know what? We're going to give you Lightning port headphones. We'll give you an adapter. We've gotten rid of the headphone jack. Wireless is the way to go. We've even invented our own Bluetooth AirPods that you just can't wait to put in your ear and lose. So,
yep.
But the most controversial thing is this headphone jack. What is just your take on this?
3.5 millimeter will never go away. It'll always be around because guys like you and me will always be using analog mixers to record into. I'll on top of that, for phones, it'll be gone in 5 years. There won't be a single 3.5 millimeter jack. Someone had to be first, and they were the first ones. That's all there is to it.
So your whole point is that it's going to be going in this direction anyway.
I think so. Yeah. I don't agree with it necessarily, but I mean, whatever.
You know, case in point, dude, I have got a Nexus 6 P here. This case that I've got it in to try and protect it has cover. It does have this little flip up jack here to plug into the headphone jack. I think this is the first time I have opened that in since I put it in the case.
Really?
Yeah, I've almost always listened to this now through some type of Bluetooth device.
Yeah. See, and I've always got my headphones jacked in.
There you go. See, so I'm.
But you're also talking to a guy who still uses his iPod Classic all the time.
No, I totally get that, dude. You're not part of well, you are part of a minority, but you're part of a minority that is definitely strong in some sense out there. There are people that will pay lots of money for classic iPods on eBay because of the understated and easy to use brilliance of it.
Yep. Well, I mean, there aren't any I mean, you can't skip a song on your phone without taking it out of your pocket. That's a problem.
Well, I can. I have to use my smartwatch for it.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Right.
But that's the point, though. And it's true. I get into my car now, and it syncs up with my Bluetooth stereo. So I kind of have, I've been living the lifestyle anyway. Somebody did. Right. I like your mature perspective, though. It's like, you know what? It's somebody who had to take the first step.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Because it's true. Studio people are going to be doing studio things.
Yep.
But it's not going to always involve your phone. And most of the time now, if anyone is using their phone for recording things, they're either using the resident microphone or they're already plugging some type of hyped up peripheral into whatever port they've got.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's funny too, because like, I mean, the big complaint now from everyone, at least that I heard around the office, was you can't even charge your phone while you're listening to it. I'm like, yeah, because when the next iPhone comes out, it'll probably have wireless charging. So
yeah, it'll have induction. Don't worry about it.
So it won't be an issue. Like, I don't know. Everyone gets so upset about everything, but like, it is what it is. And luckily, the market allows for other options if you want it.
Well, you know, that's the thing I have to say now, because I believe I have now been on the other side of the fence for 2 years. I had the first iPhone, Trent. I mean, not like 0000001,
right, but the first generation, yeah.
Yeah, and basically I'm one of the people that skipped over the S generation. So I was
right. You were on the actual launch,
Yeah, actual launch, and then I got the 3G, and then from there it was always the major numbers, not the hey, look, same case, small speed improvements kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I have to say that, and this is the only realm where I really feel that the iPhone experience had a step up on there. Ironically, considering who we are,
right.
Just a considerable lack on the part of a direct way to integrate podcasting within the Android platform.
Correct.
It was always app based. Now, recently they've remedied that. You know, we're on the Google Play Store that's there now, but I still haven't like migrated away from my app because of that.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, I know. You found the one that works, and you kind of just stick with it.
Yeah, but now that I've been on the other side of the fence for 2 years, one thing I would really like to say to all Apple users is I'm really sorry. I know the Android people are always saying, yeah, those features are great, and we had them 2 years ago. I understand it's frustrating. I used to get pissed about it too, but the problem is it's 100% accurate.
It's true.
There's no other way to put it. You know, Apple's trying to claim, I think, that their display is on the iPhone 7 is the highest resolution something or other of anything to ever happen, but they're still using a slightly older technology, so it's technically not the case.
It's it's like having a 4K TV and still streaming at 1080p.
Yeah, exactly, man.
The infrastructure is just not there. Like
You're like, I'm talking peanuts, you're talking gorgonzola.
I fucking love gorgonzola though, dude. It's one of my favorite cheeses.
Well, of all the cheeses, I feel feta is better, but that's just me.
You can be wrong. It's fine.
So I just, Apple users, I understand. And you know what? I'll get it too. You can say whatever you want back to me. I understand. I was there. But I've seen the forest for the trees. But the other thing I'll tell you too, whether you're an Android or an Apple user, it's all the same shit, folks.
Yep, it is.
It really is.
Just like my brother the mechanic says, whenever anyone asks him what car they should buy, his response, they're all pieces of shit and they're all going to break.
Doesn't matter. Although he probably may have advised me against the Volkswagen Bug. Anyway, by the way, too, one of the things that Trent, I've never done in my life, but you did slip into
butt stuff.
No, but
that was too perfect. I had to do it.
I mean, like that was like volley set spike.
Oh, boom.
Yeah. One of the things that you never realize, and I don't know if you experienced this while you were running Death Ray Comics as brick and mortar, but one of the things that happened recently, my mechanic, the same one who, had I talked to ahead of time, would have told me, do not buy the Volkswagen. Whatever you do, don't buy the Volkswagen. Oh yeah, don't buy a Volkswagen Bug. It is my favorite mechanic because he's been very honest with me. It's the first time I found a quote unquote honest mechanic.
Oh man, isn't that great? And then you stick with him forever.
Now, the interesting thing about it is the building they're in, basically it was a three-purpose building. There was a pizza place that was on one half of the building facing north. The part that faced west was a 7-Eleven, and their part of the building faces east. So they were utilizing 3 of the 4 sides, basically. And I don't know if you ran into this ever in Logan, but in the city where these places are, where my mechanic is, you never realize the way infrastructure changes can screw up business.
Yeah.
What they did is they had decided to improve this particular stretch of the boulevard. And in doing so, they thought it would be good to add a median that had decorative flowers in it. And what they did is they ended up eliminating a left turn immediately into that spot.
Yep.
As such, the only thing that's still in that building, I'm not kidding, a 7-Eleven closed. Trent.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
That's unheard of.
I know. Starbucks and 7-Elevens, they don't go away.
Yeah, they don't close ever. They're open 24/7 all the time, forever.
And apparently it's a model that works everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
But they installed this median that stopped a turn from being made at one point.
Yeah.
And actually he even told me that as a mechanic, his business also got impacted because deliveries or tow trucks.
Sure.
Here's what they have to do. They have to go down to the next block, make a left turn, and in order to be able to get into his lot, they've got to actually go through the neighboring 76 station parking lot to get through to be able to fit into his.
Man.
But my whole point is, I never would have imagined that this thing could even go through. But it just shut down a business. Something as simple as that.
Yeah. It's crazy, dude.
So what I'm doing is I'm asking all of the NetHeads listeners, please don't be a median. Okay. We need to improve our infrastructure, and we're asking you to help us. Now, there's one of many ways to do that. The simplest, Trent, I don't know in case you have noticed the calendar. We are in well, of course we noticed. We talked about September 11th. I've now said officially the stupidest thing on smodcast.com ever.
Sure. Well, I don't know. Ming said some stuff in the past that's kind of.
Well, fair enough. Okay, I'll float you that one only because I'm too tired to contest it. No, but one of the ways you can do that, actually, it's really simple. It's September, Trent. Halloween is coming up. The holidays are coming up.
They are.
They are. And one of the best places you can go to find gifts or costume enhancements or anything else, that's Think Geek, my friend.
Oh,
Trent, Think Geek. They have got awesome stuff. And I am not kidding. One of the things they have recently premiered, a Bluetooth next generation communicator pin that goes right on your chest, and it works. It makes the noise.
We've been waiting for that forever.
Yeah. And actually, I don't know if you heard about this too, but the people, have you ever heard about these these wand remote controls?
No, is it like the
Yes,
magic screwdriver?
Yes, it's like my magic screwdriver, as
Yes.
you call it.
Yeah.
It's like a magician's wand that you can wave to control your TV, change channels, special gestures work. They have just come out with a Bluetooth original Star Trek series communicator.
What?
So instead of pulling your phone out of your pocket, you pull it, chirp as it flips open.
Gosh.
These are the kind of things you'll find at ThinkGeek. They also got the simpler, less expensive stuff, the easy enhancements to your costumes, or the gifts you want to give to your friends. Guys, they've got everything. Video games, sci-fi, horror, video games, sci-fi, horror. All I'm saying is if there's a nerd in your life and you're wondering what to get them, you're going to find it at ThinkGeek. I almost would guarantee it. Here's what you do. You go to netheadsonair.com. You kick, if you must. I'd encourage a click over a kick, but you click the ThinkGeek banner that's right there, and you just shop. And that's all you got to do. At that point, then you're bettering your life. You're bettering your friend's life. You're buying gifts for, and you're bettering the life of the NetHeads, because there's only one reason why Trent and I can afford ramen in every month, and it's because you kind listeners go to ThinkGeek or you go to Amazon through our links, and we greatly appreciate it. But I'm telling you right now, guys, it's time to jump in and get your geek on at ThinkGeek. Go to netheadsonair.com, click the ThinkGeek banner, and you will thank us later. And because of the way I'm doing this, that ad is always going to be, like we said before, it's going to live forever here in this.
Yeah.
I I can't get the music to go away.
And then I will always want to sing a rendition of Missy Elliott's "Get Your Freak On," but with your geek on. Get your geek on.
By the way, I don't know how I fell into this rabbit hole this week. By the way, one thing too, I don't know if you remember, Trent, way back in the day. I mean, we're talking old school NetHeads now, if you will. Not OG net. There is an OG NetHeads, and there's old school NetHeads, because then there's now NetHeads. But one of the things we used to do that I would like to try and start up again, because it was one of my favoriteest parts of the show. It was my most favorite thing, if I could use improper grammar.
Sure. Most favoriteest.
Thank you very much. That's where I was going to go. But it's giving people the opportunity to try and win what's in my sack. That's right. What I do is, not this one because I didn't prepare, but next episode, I will prepare 3 items within a shopping cart. 3 items available on ThinkGeek. You go to netheadsonair.com, click the ThinkGeek banner. You can do your shopping, and then you can see the experience I'm doing. I will randomly pick 3 items from the website. 3. I will put them into my shopping cart, or my sack, if you will.
Your shopping sack.
And then you get 3 chances to guess just one of the 3 items. If you get one of them, you win the entire sack. Just like that.
That's it?
That's it. That's all you got to do. But the only problem is that's one of those things where it's like, well, you got to listen live.
Yeah.
And
Here's the thing, folks. We have something unique on smodcast.com, and it's
let me stand up and show it to you right now on the camera. No, I'm kidding.
But that's it. Like we the aside from us ourselves, we do bring the unique thing of being live on the network. It's now a unique thing. So just saying, that's even more incentive to hang out with us.
Yeah, exactly. And I think in a way, now that we also do this live utilizing YouTube, I think we actually make it easier than ever in some ways to listen live.
Absolutely.
Because really, when it comes down to it, it isn't even me being able to see Trent while we do this. It's one of the very free and easy ways that you can stream live across multiple platforms.
Yep. Yeah, and it works well for us once we figured out how to do it.
Yeah.
But now it's
I gotta tell you
solid.
something. By the way, if you want to broadcast using one of these fancy Logitech C920 USB 1080p thingamajigs, you're gonna have to go into your camera options, and there's one thing about like audio syncing, and you'll want to uncheck that, because if you don't do that, you will spend like 24 episodes on YouTube complaining that you just can't sync up with your audio.
My audio sync? This is so weird.
Why it looks okay when we're live, but then I get. Actually, what I really like right now is I got the windows open and I got like this soft glow thing going on.
Ah.
I look more. I look like I'm in a happy place now.
Well, I was just gonna say, maybe that's just your aura, Will.
It no, it really is. I open the window curtains for once.
Oh, sure. Well, vitamin D helps us all.
I know, and I need to get more by going outside and walking. And one of the ways you can do that is you can put podcasts on your portable device and listen to while you walk. So
even if you just have YouTube app on your phone, you could listen live.
There you go. You can do that. But do us a favor, please. Also tell some friends about this amazing podcast you like, and hopefully get them to at least get them to subscribe and download. Get them to commit to that. That's the first part of my master plan, Trent.
Yeah.
Regardless of listening, just get people to subscribe and download.
Yeah.
Then there's step 2, step 3, profit.
Yeah. We'll get into step 2 later.
Yeah, it's too detailed to talk about now.
Yeah. But it definitely involves butt stuff.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Anyway, until next time, folks, thank you very much for tolerating whatever the hell this was. Oh, it was an episode of NetHeads. My name is Will.
I'm Trent.
And you've been listening to us at, you know what? Oh, wait, no. How did I say we were going to do this?
Sin.
Yeah, I know. Hold on. You've been listening to NetHeads on Smodco, on the Smodco internet. Okay, now I got it. It's unfortunate. Usually, this is the reason why you wouldn't do live.
This is live. This is live, man. It's uncut. This is a Philistine's penis.
Well, wow.
Uncut.
I would not have thought to compare it to such. By the way, those of you that do look at the YouTube video, I'm wondering, do you like I've rearranged the way that I use the microphone. Now it's not straight up. It's kind of at a 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
I was going to go the full horizontal like this.
I like the horizontal. I tend to do better with the horizontal.
And I'm just because I'm trying to find the one way to cover up more of my face. No, that's actually the nice thing is when it's right here, it just looks like a series of triple chins are controlling.
Just down.
Anyway,
Mine will blend in my beard occasionally.
I'm just trying. I think the 45 suits me more because I like the symmetry going on with the.
Yeah,
By the way, I've always meant to ask you: is that an actual mount mic, or is there a lamp that died to make that stand?
You know what? It's an actual mount mic. Though I have used sacrificed lamps from the secondhand store.
See, I'm not meaning that in any negative way because I think it was on my second move I finally said goodbye to the teal lamp arm that I had converted to a microphone holder.
Yep, and I'm always looking too of because you can never have enough mic stands ever.
There you go. Yeah, so nobody please ask Trent why he's got a gigantic pile of dead lamps. Nobody, it's not as nefarious as you may think it is.
Or is it?
It just may be. Anyway, next time, folks, please do check us out if you can. We're at netheadsonair.com. But you can always find us over here on the Smodco Internet Network.
It's smodcast.com.
Yeah, see, I know we got to workshop it a little bit.
Yeah, because you should say sin though, because that's cool.
I know it is, but I don't know.
But it's not a thing. I know.
We're in unofficial territory here.
I know.
Well, I don't know what to do.
It's always better to ask for forgiveness than permission, right?
Exactly.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker signing off. I know, right? But stop being a little Nancy and deal with it. NetHeads. We'll be back soon.
Goodbye.
This has been a production of Smodco Internet Radio. Sir, only at smodcast.com.
You see, that's the other reason why I want to come up with something else, because at the end of every podcast, that thing drops.
Yeah.
And
it's true.
Instead of saying Smodco Internet Radio, it should say something that is a little more global, something bigger.
Yeah. Why think inside the box? And honestly, I want to know what Nancy's he's talking about. Is it like a Nancy Kerrigan, like a Nancy Grace? Is it you know what I mean? When stop being a little Nancy.
Oh, and deal with it.
Which Nancy are we talking about?
I
don't know.
I don't, man, you are blowing my mind with
you know what I mean? Is this a Nancy Reagan thing?
No, dude, Trent, usually you're the better listener to us, listener of the two of us.
Yeah, right.
It's little Nancy.
Oh, sure.
Think carefully.
You're right. No, yeah, you're right.
The Nancy is
Yeah.
little Nancy.
Yeah. I don't know what that means.
Well, first you got to find Big Nancy.
Sure. Which I think we can all agree is Nancy Grace.
And then ask her, where's little Nancy?
Nancy, tell me now.
By the way, excellent thing. Would have been a wonderful thing to go out on a stinger. Unfortunately, I have a question. I need answers because I don't understand why it happened. I'm so thankful it did. And thankfully, you helped me to see the complete picture. But in the roasting of Rob Lowe,
oh my gosh,
why was Ann Coulter there?
So for the celebrities, they have staff writers that write all the jokes. And so like the jokes that Peyton Manning did, he didn't write. The like comedians wrote them and they give him a script. And so that was supposed to be the thing for her, right? And she's also got her new book out, In Trump We Trust, right? And so she's going to promote that however, way she can. And her PR people didn't like the jokes that they had written for her. So she bombed so badly because they came up with her like their own jokes.
Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, that was horrible too.
Oh, it was so fucking awkward, dude. Like
when the kid from SNL heckled her while she was going.
Yes. Oh shit. And like, oh yeah. Yep.
But why was she? So that's why she was there. She was there.
I think she was there as part of a celebrity for a book promotion. Absolutely, yeah.
Because boy, oh boy, did that look painful.
Man, it's just, and there were no holds barred. Man, it was. If you haven't watched it, folks, check it out.
Yeah, you can find that. Just go check a look at Trent's Twitter feed. I'm sure it's in there.
Yeah, I tweeted out it's just all of them spliced together of the jokes about her.
Yeah,
and there's about 30 minutes worth.
It really was the Ann Coulter roast. Let's face it.
It was. Yeah, it totally was.
I mean, so much so that I don't think Rob Lowe even felt bad about his items because he was just looking forward to his Ann Coulter jokes.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone was.
That's got to be the thing that makes you. I mean, basically, it's kind of like this. Hey, Trent, I got to tell you. Here's the thing. We got a lot of great people that are coming to this roast to roast you. Okay, but and I don't understand this, but somehow we got Hitler.
Yeah,
he's gonna
right. Yeah,
Hitler's gonna be on the dais.
Yeah.
So moments before you may have been like, oh god, and then you heard
get roasted. Yeah.
But Hitler's gonna be there.
Oh, sweet.
Thank God.
There we go. Yeah.
I mean, not that I'm saying that Ann Coulter is Hitler.
Well, I mean, one of the jokes was, Ann Coulter, you've written 11 books, 12 if you include Mein Kampf.
Yeah, it's just painful. Oh my God.
At smodcast.com.